Welcome back to the final episode of 10 for 10. This is a series from WatchGecko that sets out to inform you, the viewer, of 10 watches branching over 10 different categories that combined offer an extremely versatile, enjoyable and rounded collection. Altogether coming in at a value less than £10,000. Stay tuned to the WatchGecko online magazine as well as our YouTube channel for plenty more series and episodes just like this. Now we're in a position where our collection is pretty much complete. We have every popular watch genre covered in what we believe to be a rounded enough collection offering good versatility and enjoyment. However, sometimes as watch enthusiasts, we just want something a little bit different to wear. Something which doesn't really slot into any genre, but is just, well, fun. Something that doesn't take itself too seriously either. Something that if you were attending a watch get-together, people wouldn't be expecting to see at all. A watch that if people glance down to your wrist and ask about what you're wearing, you have plenty of interesting fun facts about it you can throw at them. With this in mind, let's take a look at the Mondaine Stop2Go BackLight. The simple, quite quirky design of the Mondaine actually predates Mondaine themselves, dating back to 1944, and a gentleman called Hans Hilfiger. He was a Swiss engineer and designer who created a clock which has become known as the official Swiss Railways clock. At the time, he was an employee of the Federal Swiss Railways, and his new clock design went on to become relatively popular. 9 years later, Hilfiger added the large red seconds hand to the clock, which not only is very distinctive and clear, but it also replicates the same red batons used by trained dispatch staff. It should come as no surprise to you to hear that the Swiss quite like a few key things. 1. They like precision. 2. Accuracy. And 3. Things having a purpose. These 3 things can easily summarise the Swiss Railways clock, which probably explains why it's gone on to become an icon in both the design world and Switzerland. It's not just the design of the clock which caught the attention of the world, but also its mechanical workings. In Switzerland, the concept of a train leaving 20 seconds past a minute doesn't exist. All trains leave bang on the minute. This means a centralised synchronisation happens, which results in the seconds hands on the clock stopping for 2 seconds at 12, allowing the minute hand to jump forward a minute, and then the second hand begins again. Very cool stuff for us watch enthusiasts, and worth looking out for if you're ever in a Swiss railway station. Fortunately, Mondaine came along in the 80s, and turned Hilfiger's design into a watch. Fast forward 30 odd years, and in 2013, Mondaine releases the Stop2Go technology. This replicates the same procedure found in the clocks, paying homage to the original design. The Stop2Go BackLight with us today comes in 41mm wide, 12mm thick, and with a lug-to-lug of 46mm. As you can tell, the watch case itself is very round in design, with only the short lugs disrupting the perfect roundness. Over the years, Mondaine watches have been seen fitted in many different cases. However, you can clearly see this watch's case is very true to the original clock. The case is stainless steel, complete in a fully brushed finish, and of course we find a flat, anti-reflective coated sapphire crystal. A screw-down crown can be found on the watch, which feels more like a lever or switch than a conventional crown. This is once again where the Mondaine earns a few more cool points. When you pull the crown out, the seconds hand completes its journey around the dial, stopping back at 12. Once you turn and hold the crown in either the up or down position, the minute hand will begin to move, and eventually will pick up momentum, moving at a manageable speed for time changing. Push the crown back in, and the watch sets off once again. This feels like a perfect time to explain the movement behind the watch in a little more detail. The movement used is a Mondaine Stop2Go caliber 5802 quartz movement. As you can probably tell already, this is very different to just a standard quartz movement. Much like the original clock, this movement ticks around the dial for 58 seconds. It then stops at 12 for 2 seconds, which allows the minute hand to jump forward to the next minute marker, and then the cycle continues. If you're heavily invested in the passion behind watchmaking and horology, this is something you need to see. This addictive, quite relaxing watchmaking is a complete switch up from the rest of the watches in our new collection, making it a perfect fit. However, there is more. This specific Mondaine has one more party trick up its sleeve to truly make it the best option for something fun. This watch features strong luminescence on the dial to ensure you can tell the time no matter how dark it gets. On the surface, this statement doesn't look like it belongs in this review, because clearly there is no lume visible on the top of the hands or indices. However, turn either the watch to the side or the lights down, and all will be revealed. Thin, long layers of luminescence can be seen attached to the bottom of the Mondaine's hands, meaning a few things. Firstly, well, you can use the watch once it gets dark. Secondly, the lume creates a backlight with the hands, as well as reflecting off the dial. And finally, this ingenious approach of adding the lume behind the hands means the iconic, instantly recognisable design, straight from Hilfiger's mind, remains unchanged, still enjoyable in normal daylight. Now, if all of these features don't make a watch cool, I don't know what does. The lugs on the Mondaine almost blur and wrap around the case of the watch, which means the watch is framed very nicely on the wrist. The watch's 12mm thickness is relatively noticeable, however not enough to disrupt the wearability of the watch. Of course, the watch is very legible, with dark, bold black indices, hands and markers sitting on that bright white dial. Throw in the distinctive red seconds hand and clean aesthetic, and you can't help but enjoy the watch's overall quirkiness. A design that embodies confident, obvious uniqueness is seldom found in the world of watches, which commonly feels like it can take itself rather seriously. Obviously, one of the most noticeable features of the watch happens every 58 seconds, when the seconds hand takes a break for a moment. I found myself glancing down at my wrist a lot more than normal, just to see everything stop independently for a brief moment, before the minute hand took over, and then everything went back to normal. The same can be said for the backlight feature as well. When it became darker, I'd regularly find myself staring at the dial to see the soft glow bouncing off the dial, making the hands of the watch stand out. Small, unique, fun quirks, along with the watch's design, makes the Mondaine feel like a genuinely interesting watch to strap to your wrist. The watch comes on a genuine black leather watch strap with black matching stitching. This strap works well with the watch because of its simple design matched with the watch's very dominant visuals. Let's see which 20mm wide replacement watch straps from our range look to complement this strong design DNA. The Geckota Jonathan GP298 Pro. This strap is the epitome of simple yet effective. The strap uses Italian black calf leather along with coloured lining. This combo really takes what the standard Mondaine strap does, yet is a step above with its increased continuity of the watch's design. A classic Geckota watch strap that really acts to lift the watch's appeal. The Geckota Horkstow Milanese mesh. Once again, a mesh strap features in this series and completely transforms another watch. This time, this mesh strap combines a simple clean design with even more simplicity in the form of a butterfly buckle. Both strap and buckle really suit the Mondaine watch, mainly because all three are clean, simple and neat. The bracelet also comes in at 3.5mm thick, making it ideal for the 12mm thick Mondaine case. The Geckota Kington vintage style dress in camel. Finally, to wrap up these strap suggestions, we have something very different. Here, the Kington dress in the camel colour option really changes the dynamic of the watch. The lighter brown option works to add emphasis to the distinctive colours on the dial of the Mondaine. The strap has a thin layer of padding as well, which makes it ridiculously comfortable. For as fun as this watch is, there is only one change I'd like to see on this watch, and it's something which can be solved with Mondaine's other offerings. The stop-to-go movement with backlight in a smaller size. Yes, once again, there's another watch which I wish was available in a smaller size. Granted, you can purchase smaller size options from Mondaine, which keep the same instantly recognisable design, but unfortunately, the stop-to-go technology is only available in the 41mm size. As mentioned earlier, the watch genuinely wears well, but for me, I'd love to see the movement sit in one of their 36mm or 40mm cases. So, why this watch? Well, for me, it's a no-brainer for the something fun category. This watch doesn't take itself too seriously, with its funky round case, bold dial configuration, switch-like crown, backlight technology, and hypnotic movement. If you want something to wear to your next watch get-together, and be sure no one else in the room will be wearing one, the Mondaine Stop2Go BackLight is the watch for you. The Mondaine Stop2Go BackLight is currently available for £499. To find out more and explore the whole Mondaine lineup, check out their site. Links will be in the description below. This final episode wraps up the 10 for 10 series. However, it's certainly not the end. Firstly, the whole WatchGecko team and I would like to take this moment to say thank you to everyone who has followed along with this series. It's been an incredible series to have ran both here on the channel as well as on the online magazine. The positive response has been great to see. Thank you of course to all the brands involved who sent us watches to be featured in the series for our coverage. With this in mind, it's fair to say you can expect a lot more series and more coverage of the watch world very, very soon. We have lots of exciting plans we can't wait to share with you. All I can say for now is to stay tuned for a lot more in 2019. If you want to stay updated with all of the WatchGecko news, the best ways to follow us are on Instagram and Facebook. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and most importantly, you can sign up to our newsletter for all new content and new straps right as they happen.